The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the Morning Crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
Did you feel it? Did you feel what just happened there? There was an earthquake in Illinois just about 20 minutes ago.
What?
There was an earthquake here in Illinois.
Is that like your new nickname for yourself?
No.
Is that what you make Megan say? Didn't it feel like an earthquake?
Wouldn't that be amazing
What?
if that's what was really happening? Like, hey, Mr. Earthquake just came in the bedroom.
No, that wouldn't be amazing. Why would that be amazing for me?
No, not for you, for Megan and me.
Oh, for Megan and you?
No, it wouldn't be good for you at all.
Yeah, no, I wish that for Megan.
I'd be walking around all morning. Hey, Kenzie, Mr. Earthquake over here. Huh?
No, thank you.
No, there was a 3.6 magnitude earthquake registered right in the Chicagoland area. I'm stretching a little bit, but we almost reached the Standard, Illinois, which is 108 miles from downtown. We reached there. It's like a little bit southwest of here. Like if you keep going on Aurora and Naperville and you just keep going.
How did that happen?
Well,
I thought we couldn't get earthquakes here.
that's kind of the deal with the Midwest. We're supposed to say like, hey, we don't get that crap that you guys get in the West.
Hey, we get tornadoes.
We're not going to fall in the ocean like you guys are eventually. No, there actually is a fault line that goes all the way through America. And just because it's really bad out west, where they really get them all the time to destroy cities, it still happens here, and it happens once in a while. But 3.6 is a pretty good registered quake. Anybody feel it? Check in. 312-591-8300. I want to know if something fell off, like your elf on a shelf fell off the thing, if you got it set up already.
The elves aren't visiting yet.
Not yet.
The elves don't show up until December 1st.
So the Granville, Illinois Police Department has not received any reports of damage at this time, and the main utility supplier in that region is not reporting any power outages. But the shaking was felt as far north as Dubuque, Iowa, and they felt a shake down there in Standard, Illinois, in that area, in that region. So it was shaking this morning. It's pretty scary. Pretty scary. Pretty wild.
Maybe that's what happened yesterday to me. The wall was shaking at my place, and I thought it was the pipes, and I got really, I was like, oh my God, the house is going to explode.
You were talking about that yesterday. Maybe that was a predecessor, because earthquakes have those pre-earthquakes.
I was about to get my pipes checked. Hello.
Yeah.
Because I don't need that.
Wow. Well, hey, check in if you got any damage in your home, especially if you're down there in the Naperville area, because you just kept going straight Aurora out that way. Hey, it's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Remember, a couple hours away, 8 o'clock, we have the tickets for Q101's Twisted Christmas. Less than 3 weeks away at the Aragon for the Black Keys. That's night one. That opens the week of partying and Christmasdom. And also, you'll have a chance to you'll actually win to get in the VIP exclusive party, the Black Keys record hang at the Empty Bottle. So that's all coming up at 8. Of course, Clash with Kenzie at 7:10, a trivia contest for our exclusive prize pack. All the fun, all the good stuff. Starts right now.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And coming up with a fact that makes your brain just go.
I want you to really impress me today, Brian.
I think this is impressive, and here's the tease that's going to keep you around for the next several minutes. You ready for this?
Way to lift the curtain on the magic show.
That's right. We go behind. We don't hide stuff.
This will trap you.
Yeah, we don't hide stuff here with Brian and Kenzie like other radio shows do, and they're not even sometimes in this city, and you don't even know it. They're broadcasting from other locations, but you think they're in Chicago, but they're liars.
Fake AF.
Liars. Liars. We're not liars. So I'm going to tease you right now, and you'll stick around to the commercial break and come back and get the answer. Ha ha.
No, this is why we're not in multiple cities. Like some of our other radio stations.
Damn it. If we just played the game. Okay. So here you go. You do this 4 hours a month. Chicagoans do this for 4 hours a month, and it's really, really enjoyable. The sad part is you only do it for 4 hours a month, and we all have to increase this time exponentially.
Well, there's no way you do it for 4 hours a month. I know that. If it was 4 minutes a month, that would be my guess.
I think if you add it up, I could get to 4 hours. If you add it all up.
All of it in a month? Not a year, Brian.
No, all of it. All of it. I mean, by myself, too, then.
Oh, gross. Oh, Oh, God.
We got to add in everything.
Oh, no. I hate that so much.
So everybody, I know
That, I bet, takes a while. I bet you just make an evening. You probably light candles. You're the worst.
Oh, I make nachos.
Oh,
you know.
what?
Put on Shawshank.
This is why I don't eat at other people's houses. I swear to God. Imagine that nacho plate. I don't want that anywhere near me.
You won't any more. You'll think about that now every time someone says, hey, you want some nachos?
No, it's ruined.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
All right, time for a fact that makes your brain go. Now, we all do this, Chicagoans, 4 hours a month, and it's really enjoyable. The sad part of this fact is we only do it for 4 hours a month, and it should be way longer for happier, healthier lives. And despite what you might think, it's not what you think.
Oh, God.
What it is socializing with friends. That's it. At this point, a study was done between 2,000 adults, many in the Chicagoland area, talking about people that are even 25 to 34 years old. They are struggling just to find time to have any time with friends. A little bit older gets a little better as you go, because people get in neighborhoods and they get families and they say, oh, come over to the house, that kind of thing. And everybody has kids. It's a little easier to socialize.
Right.
But 4 hours a month is all we are generally doing in Chicago with friends. And that's sad.
I believe that.
I do too.
Honestly, but I would say that that's right on par for what I do. Like actual hangout time. Like you guys are my friends and I see you at work.
Well, I was going to say this. Does it count Harper's birthday party because we spent 2 hours together? Does that count?
Yeah.
Okay, let's count that for the month.
Because it's an extra activity of hanging out with friends.
Yep.
So I think as long as you have that's different.
Yeah.
So like work and stuff, I wouldn't.
No, we
count.
cannot count this as hanging out.
Right, because this is hell. You know what I mean? So we're at work. It's very early. No, you can't count this. This better not be it.
But I remember Saturdays in my 20s when I would go over someone's house and hang the whole day. It was just come on over and then we'll see what happens. It wasn't like we had a plan like, I'm texting you to come. I'm going to be over in a minute. We'll go get brunch.
You know how mad I'd be if I invited somebody over and then they just stayed the entire day.
You never did that?
I'm like, I have so much to do.
But figure before you were married and had
children.
a kid and all that and a pregnancy. Before that, did you ever just go over someone's house and hang the whole day?
Such a loser. With my mom, I did.
Well, that's really sweet.
That's it. My mom actually is my best friend. I'm a firm believer that the universe, and if you're lucky enough to have both, that's awesome. But the universe gives you one. You either have friends that are like family, because your family was lackluster, or you have really close family, and then you have good friends, but not like, oh my God, I'm going to celebrate my holidays with them instead of even family, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I have friends that I love, and if they needed anything or if they were lacking that family, they could join mine. But I was lucky enough to have my mom is my best friend. Like all my husband does is make fun of me. If we get in a fight, Roman's like, all right, well, go call your mom and tell her about it. I'm like, well, I will.
Fair.
You're in big trouble, mister.
I think your mom could kick his ass probably too, maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
My mom's feisty. So for me, it's like I would do that. I would go hang out with my mom the whole day and feel comfortable.
Well, let's take the mom out. And that's really sweet. What you said is amazingly, a lot of people don't have that relationship with their family.
It's true. And I would feel very like I was intruding. If it was a friend, I would feel like I was intruding. Like, you have a life to do. I don't want to come over the whole day. I would get that vibe.
See,
I don't want to bother you.
This might be the mentality and maybe a little bit of the difference in age because I used to go over people's house and we'd hang out. So let's just get together and just chill, recap the week. Because this is before you texted all day long and just knew everything was going on. Then let's go to the beach. Let's go to North Avenue Beach. Cool, let's do that. Hey, want good food? Yeah. All right. I'm talking like 10, 11 hours on a Saturday with just some friends just hanging out, not caring about the plans.
Roman always said that when he was growing up, he had the house, his mom, in high school and stuff.
People came over.
That people were just lived there and they were in the pantry. And he always talks about how he wants, I want to keep that. I loved having the house. I want, I'm like, I don't want to be the house. I want kids to be like, we're not that welcome there. I don't want to be the house.
I wonder if it's an age thing too, because me being around his age is I like to be the house too. I want the house.
I don't want to be the house.
When I bought my first condo on the north side of Chicago, when I finally got out of studio apartments and I had a place big enough where more than one person could come over, I said, hey, everybody, anytime you want to come over to the house, I got beer, I'll grill out, I got burgers, and people would just stop by sometimes at 2 in the morning. Hey, you up? Yeah, man, come on over. I'm going to grill out some burgers at 2 a.m. I love that.
I do not mind. So, like, Tristan, my son, if he was like, here and there after baseball, a friend was coming over. I'm not saying like a stickler like that.
No.
I don't want the never ending, there's never not a bunch of boys hanging out in my pantry. Like, I want to walk around and be comfortable and relax. I only have boys. I grew up with 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to have 2 sons. And now I'm going to have, I've just been surrounded. I have 2 male coworkers.
Yeah.
It's boy. And it's like, I don't need a stampede of them through my house.
Well, why don't you bring all the women's over then?
Oh, I don't want extra guests. I just want to chill. Last night, the boys went outside to make s'mores, and I'm like, I'm too cold.
Oh, that sounds good,
I
though.
was like, I'm just too cold, whatever. So I sat inside to eat a cookie, and they came back in the house like, what are you eating? What are you doing? What's this? What's that? Are we going to hang this? When are we going to get to decorate the tree? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I just wanted to eat a cookie. Like, I don't want to.
We're opposite. And that's fine. That's the way people are. The stat again was we only hang out with our friends 4 hours a month. And I do think a lot of it is that, that we just communicate differently now. So on your phone, oh, what are you doing? This, that, ha, but okay, good night, whatever. You just do it by texting. And that's not cool. That's not as healthy. It isn't at all. It's better to hang out face to face. But no one has time anymore. You're doing side hustles to pay the bills.
It's hard.
And I don't have time like I used to either. I have a kid. So it's way different.
And I think that people feel more connected because they can send quick texts.
Yep.
They see you. Sometimes I'm surprised that I haven't seen somebody. My friend just had a birthday party over the weekend. And he's like, I don't think I've seen you since your wedding. And I'm like, holy crap. But we see each other on social media and we respond and we do. You don't realize sometimes the amount of time that's gone by now because they're not 100% absent. Their face still pops up.
Yeah.
You still see what they're doing.
Well, look at the difference. I just said how I like to be the house to hang out. And I have all these friends. And when I got exiled from Chicago and I came back and I have all these friends here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get together. There's some I haven't seen in almost 5 years of being back here after my first time here. It's like, what? And you guys wanted to qualify my daughter's birthday party, that 2 hours of us hanging out. I can't think of another friend hangout the rest of the month. So I only had 2 hours in the month.
Well, I don't know, because you guys are weird.
Who's we?
You and Megan. You guys have so many friends in town all the time.
My wife's from Philadelphia, and they all travel well. They all just get on a plane in a second and come here and stay in our guest room. And I love it.
It's unbelievable how many adult friends.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, 21, and you're all just visiting each other because you're in college. But you guys are fully grown, and you're like, yep, well, our friends and their 4 kids are traveling in this weekend just to hang out. And I am blown away by that.
And
but Megan's a saint, so I get it.
It isn't, well, thank you. But also, we love it. I love having a full house of people and waking up and there's people eating in the kitchen when I wake up at 3 in the morning and I got some leftover pizza. I don't know. I just love that vibe. And Megan does too. And she's younger, but she likes that vibe too. And she also has friends that will travel on a drop of a dime. They're just like, whatever, I'll get on a plane and do it. Well, there you go. 4 hours. We should all try to increase FaceTime, I think. And not using FaceTime. I mean, actually getting face to face.
Actually seeing, I was like, I don't think it's going to help.
Yeah, actually seeing your friends.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Our friends Rise Against Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Now, a couple days ago off the air, Kenzie asked me in case a question about having relations with your significant other. And I don't know how far you want me to say on this, Kenzie. The question was...
What?
let me see how I can word this. You do things with someone that you don't love sexually for enjoyment that you won't do with the person you love because you respect them too much.
I think that's a guy thing.
You were asking if it was a guy thing.
Because I had a friend in Florida who, not all the time, but definitely did cheat on his girlfriend. And he was in love. He wasn't one of those guys who's like, I'm just dating her. Like, he was in love. And I go, why are you doing that? He goes, well, I'm not going to disrespect her and do some of the stuff I'm interested in, which I found to be an interesting explanation. Because, like, you don't think it's disrespectful to just do that with a different girl.
He looked at cheating as not the problem, but doing those things with that person he was cheating with, he couldn't do with the person he loved.
I could only do that with, like, a girl that, in a sense, that he doesn't have all this respect and love for.
Correct.
You know, treat her like a like you paid her. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the attitude.
Exactly what.
And I don't get why men can't do that with somebody they love as long as they're okay with it.
And now
I don't get it.
Kenzie asked a question to me in case about that. Is that the case? And no, not the case, but it's just an interesting question. I thought it was very fascinating because athletes use that kind of all the time, or celebrities. Well, I love this woman. She's my children's mom. I couldn't do dirty things with her, but I can cheat and do something with dirty. I have no feelings at all about this person, but I can do those things with that person.
Which I just don't believe. I don't know. And that may be very naive of me, but I don't think that you can have that intimate of a relationship with someone and be like, well, I have nothing. There's just no attachment. It's like, you're apparently living out your wildest fantasies. So you're telling me there's no attachment there? That's weird.
Yeah, I think the key is, and this brings up, we're talking about, the 4 hours spending with friends and that last fact, and it's talking about communication overall instead of just texting or whatever. You get in these routines. I looked up something from a sexologist that had ways to spice up your relationship, and that's what made me bring this question back in my head when you brought this up, because I don't know, first off, if you believe that at 312-591-8300, if you have this same motive, or people, you understand it, or you believe it's, of course, just cheating, which is what it is. It's still cheating.
It's still cheating.
It's still cheating. And why don't you do that with the person you love or you care about so much? Because are you embarrassed to say, hey, I want to do this? And all of a sudden you pull handcuffs out and you throw them on the bed. Would you go, oh, she's going to think I'm a psychopath? I think that's what a lot of guys would say.
And I don't think so. I think a lot of girls, that's a compatibility thing. So it's like, I think a lot of girls would like it more than you think, especially if they know that's something that you really want. So it's like, oh, cool. Like, I'm happy to, partake in your venture.
Well, I don't know how you lead into this conversation in a thing of like, hey, I'm into this and it might be weird. Would you be willing to do this? Now, you can do that with someone you've dated a few times maybe, and if it goes away, well, you don't care. If it's someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, are you afraid that they're going to go, good Lord, you want to do that? And that's what the sexologist says you have to do. You have to sit down and kind of make a list and have a conversation about sexual intimacy, about what you're into and what you're not into. And it's okay if the other person says, I'm not into that. But hey, that's hopefully not driving you to that other person to do that. That's not what it should do, because you can still do a lot of the things on your list, hopefully. You have to have super open communication. And I got to admit, that's embarrassing, in a situation to do that. But I know that the longer you're with somebody, it becomes less embarrassing to say, hey.
Why is that embarrassing?
I mean, if it's the beginning of the relationship and you haven't done something ever risque yet. You know what I mean? Unless you did something risque the first time. Some people do that.
I just feel like I think if anything, it could make it. I think it could make it better, because then the girl doesn't think you're boring. Guys are over here like, oh, I don't want to disrespect my woman. She probably thinks you're pretty average in bed.
Exactly. That's what's going to happen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trust me, she's probably been the one that a guy didn't care about that much either at one point in time, and she did some fun stuff.
Yeah, Dakota checked in and said, oh, girls are kinky AF, Brian. Oh, good. That's what I think men are afraid of. They see things in movies. They see things, why can't I do that? And they're just afraid to go.
Why do you think 50 Shades of Grey blew up? It wasn't that quality of writing. I got to be honest.
Not much writing.
No.
I mean, no, not too much. But here's a guy, I won't say his name. He says, that's why I'm in therapy with my wife. She can't meet me there. Love her, but may have to leave her since I haven't been happy that way since my last relationship. I'm not going to say the name. So it's exactly what you're talking about. Exactly. Well, you just brought that question, Kenzie.
Well, that's different, though. You've brought it up. I'm talking about guys who are not willing to do it.
Yeah, I'm taking it the other way of saying that, hey, if that person, that guy just texted in, now he's saying he's had that conversation, it sounds like, and she's not willing. And so, okay, well, now what do I do the rest of my life if I really want to do these other things in the bedroom or the kitchen or the car or the backyard or whatever, the shower, wherever you want to do it?
To the window, to the wall.
Yeah. I mean, listen, somebody said this. I won't say any names here if you're texting in or calling, and you can be anonymous. My ex wanted me to tie her up, but she didn't tell me that until we broke up. Said that she was unhappy sexually because I'm paraphrasing what he's saying, but he was boring. She wanted to be tied up, and he wouldn't do it, and now they're broken up.
Sorry, somebody just sent me a text. I don't know if they're asking me to do it or what, but they just wrote They just wrote all the things that they want, but they kind of like sent it to me, and I'm like, well, okay, well, go tell her.
Kenzie's not doing anything. Calm down, everybody.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to send me your request. I'm just have an open relationship, guys.
I hope that didn't get confusing.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Before we get to Gil, a lot of people chiming in on this conversation about a question Kenzie asked me. That do guys think that the person they love, they can't do everything they want to do with them sexually because it's embarrassing or demeaning? And people are not shy about checking in on it. Tino checking in. It's true. I had the same feeling about the mother of my kids before we had kids. And so that situation does exist. Now, 630 checked in, says, Kenzie's right, I'm a gynecologist. So many of my women patients have problems with libido because their guys are not very adventurous. And one of the things I tell my patients is talk to them about sexual fantasies and what you want to do. And don't be embarrassed about it.
I'm telling you, I think there's a lot of girls out there who think their men are lame in bed. Meanwhile, they're over there not living their fantasies because they're like, well, I'm going to keep the innocence of my woman, or I can't treat her like that. It's stupid. You know?
Why can't you love the person you go a little crazy with? I don't get that mentality, but I understand the embarrassment of when I was younger and you first are with somebody and you're afraid to say something because they'll think you're a psychopath. You know, I guess it depends what you ask, but
yeah, I mean, I think that you should know your partner. Like, if my man asks me for something, I'm not all of a sudden going to be like, oh, he's this. I know him. Like, he's not that. It's not creepy.
Unless he said I want to bring a friend in the bedroom. That's probably.
It'd probably hurt my feelings. He's like, your bestie. I'm like, okay, well, that seems painful.
I love that if you would say it that deadpan. Well, that's unfortunate. Good day, sir.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay.
I like a girl checked in and said, like, I think men are afraid to ask about things with toys because they're intimidated by the size of them, of toys.
I see. I feel like my husband acts like toys are cheating.
I'm not so far off on that.
They get like some guys are so into that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I feel like my husband Roman is just like, oh, like you would think it was another person. And it's like, wait, what? Okay, I thought that I thought it was like a thing. It's not a thing. Like now you're like, you think I'm a cheater or something? I don't get it.
It's like, Barry Bonds taking steroids. Come on, man.
Guess.
You probably could hit the home run okay without it.
And then one of our friends, because I brought this up when we were like at dinner, like we were like teasing each other. And I'm like, well, he would like think it's cheating. And he's like, I don't like it. And then the other guy was like, dude, you're missing out. It does all the work.
So lazy people embrace toys. Lazy guys should embrace it. Go do it. I'm glad we had this open, healthy conversation. Make sure you're a special person. Talk to them. Be open. Tell them about your sexual fantasies.
Somebody said my ex wanted me to hog tie her. I don't know how to hog tie people.
I'd be terrified. Wait, let's see. Loop over there. The bunny rabbit ear goes here.
She doesn't think you're a man because you don't know your Boy Scout nuts.
I guess if you can't hog tie a woman, then she really.
I don't want to hog tie.
Gil, give us your headlines.
This is not headline news. Astronauts accidentally dropped a tool bag during a spacewalk. By the way, tool bag in space would be a perfect name for a film about Elon Musk. A plane out of New York City had to turn around shortly after takeoff when a horse got loose on board. And even with a horse on board, the plane still smelled way better than being on a Spirit flight. Dolly Parton will be at Saturday's Tennessee Volunteers Georgia Bulldogs game. Thousands of teenage girls are expected to tweet, which player is she dating? Patrick Mahomes says he's worn the same pair of underwear every game day for his entire NFL career. Oh, I thought those were turf stains. This is not headline news.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.